Al Yankovic. You co-wrote the film Weird, the Al Yankovic Story, a sort of autobiographical parody of music biopics. It started out as a parody trailer more than a decade ago. How did you and the co-writer director Eric Appel go about building the film kind of around the bones of that trailer?
Yeah, we were essentially doing a feature film version of a 3 minute Funny or Die fake trailer, but we didn't want it to play as such. We didn't want it to feel like we're just expanding out this one joke to an hour and a half. So that was a real challenge to make sure that it felt like there were some real goals in terms of meeting the emotional intelligence of the piece and making it feel like a real character-driven movie and giving it moments that people would care about. Because it's ostensibly a comedy film, it's ostensibly a satire, but we wanted it to come off like we're doing like this big Oscar bait Hollywood biopic. That was the specific tone we were going for, and it was tough to achieve in the script. And Eric did an amazing job of making sure that we kept that tone in the movie. We just wanted to make sure that even though everybody was doing fairly ridiculous things throughout the course of the movie, it was played very, very straight. So we were trying to come up with a tone in the script that was true to the traditional Hollywood biopic, and yet it was a parody in a sense of those same biopics.
And despite being a parody, like it is the story of your life to a certain degree. Like how much of your life story is actually part of Weird, the Al Yankovic Story?
Oh, there are nuggets of truth throughout. It's based a bit in reality. We wanted it to ramp up in terms of its lack of verisimilitude. We wanted it to start out with people thinking, "Did this really happen?" And then by the end of the second act, obviously, it's gone off the rails, but we wanted to take people on that journey. Part of me didn't want to promote the movie that much because we didn't want to let the cat out of the bag that this was in fact a joke, that it was a satire. We wanted people to think like, why does Weird Al Yankovic have his own biopic? And then halfway through they go, oh, it's a parody of biopics. So we just wanted to ramp it up and little by little have people realize that we were taking some creative liberties with the movie.
In the process of writing the film, did you end up watching a lot of biopics to understand and capture all the tropes and develop inspirations?
Yeah, Eric and I both did a bit of research, and we looked at a lot of rock biopics and a lot of non-rock biopics as well. And most of them have the same tropes. I mean, the bones are all there. They're maddeningly similar, a lot of these movies, which made it a lot easier to poke fun at them. For instance, my actual childhood was very happy. I had very supportive parents, but that doesn't really fly in a Hollywood biopic because, 98% of music biopics have either parents that are cruel, or they don't understand, or certainly not supportive, loving parents. So we had to change the characters of my parents and build the stakes that way. That I'm always looking for my father's love and appreciation. So that was sort of like the stakes that we kind of had to keep throughout the movie.
One idea that is prominent in the film that I don't believe was in the trailer is the Pablo Escobar subplot. Where did that idea come from? Just to kind of go off there.
That came from me. Now, the original Funny or Die trailer came out in 2010, and it existed just as a viral video for close to a decade. And it was something that I played in my live shows during our costume changes. We'd have some video on the big screen, and it always went over great. People loved it, and a lot of times after a show, people would come up to me and say, "When's the movie coming out?" and be all excited. And I have to say, no, it's just a gag. But about 2019, Bohemian Rhapsody had come out, won a bunch of awards. And I'm a big Queen fan, but it bugged me that they took so many liberties with the chronology and facts, and they just moved things around because that's kind of what you do in a Hollywood biopic. But I thought, well, maybe there is room for a Weird Al biopic where we just throw facts out the window. We seem to be living in a post-fact age, so I thought, now would be the time to just really go off the rails. So that was my pitch to Eric. I emailed him and I said, let's do it like the movie version of the Funny or Die trailer, but it's just got to go way, way, way off the rail. By the end of the second act, I want to be single-handedly battling a Colombian drug cartel. I want to basically be John Wick in a Hawaiian shirt, I think is what I said. And Eric was very much into it. So that was sort of our goal. We wanted to start off, fairly normal and just slowly ramp up and get to a point where it's just completely crazy.
And Daniel Radcliffe plays you in the film. Did you have him or anyone else in mind, as you were writing the film, or did that casting come about later?
I think that came about later. I don't, yeah, we didn't really have anybody in mind as we were writing, but once Eric and I started making our short list of actors, Daniel was certainly on that list, and that was the name that we kept coming back to because we both really loved his energy, the fact that he is great at comedy. He's a big comedy fan, pulls that off very well, but at the same time, he is great at doing extremely serious dramatic moments. And we need, like I said, we need both because it's a comedy movie, but we need to really hit those dramatic beats hard. And we knew that Daniel would nail it, and he certainly did.
Now with a film with so many gags and jokes and elements throughout, was there anything that you sort of wanted to do in the film that you couldn't quite accommodate, or that wouldn't quite fit, or maybe you didn't have time for that had to be left out?
There were a few things. I went back fairly recently and read the first completed draft of the script, and we didn't change a whole lot. There were just a few things that we had to take out for budget reasons. It was, I think the budget was around 8 million. We had to shoot in 18 days because of that. And we kind of looked at the script and said, how are we going to shoot this in 18 days? So the first thing that went was the Weird Al and Madonna getting to know you montage. We did like the stereotypical like dating kind of montage with a bunch of gags, and which would have been like 10 different locations and would have taken a few days. So that was the first thing that went. So little things like that. I think we had little budget things, like I think when Daniel as me goes to open the door in his mansion, he drives like a golf cart down the stairs, and like, we don't need the golf cart, I guess. So we just kind of tightened it up, and we just made a few changes here and there to be able to feasibly shoot our movie in 18 days. But the overall arcs and the main set pieces were always there pretty much from the first draft.
And the film is nominated for a Writers Guild Award and won a couple of Critics' Choice Awards. It's been getting recognized elsewhere. Did you imagine when making the film that it might end up being an awards contender like the biopics that it's parodying?
No, I mean, obviously we hoped that people would respond to it positively, but Eric and I were just doing it because it was a dream project for both of us, and we really wanted to see it get, just the fact that it got made is the thing for us. We didn't think that our movie ostensibly making fun of awards show movies was going to actually be picking up awards, but we're thrilled, absolutely thrilled that it is.
And how different is writing film versus writing music? Like, do they come from very different parts of your creative brain?
In a sense, I mean, I like to think that my sensibility, my comedic sensibility, remains the same no matter what I'm doing. I think the same things are funny, but obviously, when you're doing a long form project like a feature film, I mean, you're dealing with characters and plot and things that you wouldn't do in a 3-minute song, for example. So it is a different part of your brain, to be sure, and it certainly was very helpful to partner with Eric on it, because we got to throw ideas back and forth, and we made we made each other better and funnier. I think it was. I think that the script is much better than what could have been done if either one of us had written it unilaterally. We punched each other up, and we think the same things are funny, which is very important when you're a writing team. We didn't have to, talk each other out of gags because we both like the same thing more or less. I mean, our disagreements were minute. I mean, just little shades of gray, like here and there, where I'd want to go broader and he'd want to keep it more grounded. But it was really all just fine tuning. I mean, it's helpful when you're, writing with somebody who is on the same wavelength as you.
Well, I want to congratulate you on your work on the film and the recognition it's been getting. It's been a pleasure chatting with you about it.
Thanks so much.